Okay, I would like to talk just for a short while on exercise. Exercise is probably the most important thing that a person can do to affect his overall health. Probably more important than what we eat, probably more important than what kind of work we do, maybe even more important than whether we smoke or not. It's more important than how much we weigh. Exercise is probably the biggest predictor of our overall health and longevity, the amount of exercise we get. And our exercise tolerance is a big predictor of our longevity and our overall exercise, overall health. Let me just try to illustrate this. My first car that I bought for $100 was a 1955 VW. Had an engine in it that had 37 horsepower. Now that car would get me along the road just fine as long as the road was flat and the speed limit was around 45. I could keep up with all the rest of the cars. But you bring me a hill or a little bit of wind coming at me, or the speed limit goes up to 65, I had trouble keeping up with traffic. And so, similar to exercise, what happens when we exercise, our muscles get bigger, our cells, our mitochondria in our muscles get bigger, our heart gets stronger, our lungs get more capable of transmitting oxygen, our red blood cells improve. We get a bigger car with a bigger engine, so that when we do come upon a hill, or if we get sick, or if we have some kind of trouble, we can just sail right through that better than if we were driving a VW. So exercise is very important. I recommend at least a half an hour of exercise most days of the week. I think that exercise is so important that I do it an hour a day. I try to be slightly out of breath for an hour a day. Now, if you want to be inspired, you could look up the name John Keston. When I was in med school, I did some running and ran some marathons, and then when I got a little bit older, I stopped running. But when I turned 50, I started running again, and I ran the what's it called, Spokane? Bloomsday. I ran the Bloomsday race in Spokane when I was 50 years old. When I came home, I wanted to see if I was competitive in my age group, so I looked up on the internet, and sure enough, I wasn't competitive in my age group. I went to the next age group, wasn't competitive. Went all the way up to the 80 and above, and even in that group, there was a fellow named John Keston who ran the Bloomsday race in 56 minutes. Now, I've been aiming for that goal ever since I was 50. I haven't reached it yet, but this just goes to show you that by putting in some effort, even if you're 80 years old, you can still exercise and have a good exercise tolerance and exercise fitness. So I'd like to encourage all of you to get out and exercise. It feels good. Another little thing that you might keep in mind is something like this. For every hour you exercise, you live an hour longer. So if exercise is fun, you're not only having fun exercising, but then whatever you exercise, you live that much longer. I try to do something productive when I'm exercising. Not all the time, but usually I'll take along a little iPod or something. I'll read an iBook or listen to an iBook, or I'll do my meditations or day planning or my prayer time. So my exercise time is often one of my most productive times of the day. So get out and exercise.